Well, we bought a new property in town and had 4 children and inevitably had to do something for them, so we ended up buying a pool from Aquatechnics in Northern, and really from our perspective, having bought the mower and chainsaw side of our business back in 2000, 2001 was a very dry year here in the Wheatbelt, and we found that leading up to Christmas in 2001, the week before Christmas, we took $80 for the week. So we had to make some decisions on where we were going to go. So we shut the doors and went on a holiday to Bremer Bay with the kids for a couple of weeks and talked about what we were going to do, and over a couple of red wines and a few beers, and we came back to the fact that because we had a pool ourselves in Northern, every time we wanted to get some chemical or something like that, we found that we had to go through the Midland. There was no service here. So that led to looking into, could we establish a pool chemical sales business? And that's how we kind of got into the pool game. And then I had a doctor who'd come to town, built a new house a couple of years later, wanted to buy a pool, and went through the process of contacting Aquatechnics, who had an agent at the time. Unfortunately, the agent was only available on a mobile phone, busy, hardly got back to people, found that it was really difficult. He came back to me about 6 weeks later to say that he wasn't having any joy, and I said, well, I'll make some inquiries. So we made an appointment to go down and speak to the GM. I walked in and sat down and told him what we could offer. We had a business open 6 days a week, always had somebody answer the phone, big on customer service, and we'd really like to take on the agency. And of course, he said, well, look, leave it with me, I'll come back to you. Once again, going off in the process, thinking, well, that'll be it pretty much. Lo and behold, about 3 weeks later, he rang me back and said, look, could you come down to Perth? And I said, well, I'm going to be in Perth tomorrow. My wife's actually got a doctor's appointment, so we'll come down and have a chat. And so we walked into his office and sat down around the board table, and he sort of said, well, look, I've done my due diligence and all the things that you were telling me about poor business practices of our agent at the time. We'd therefore like to offer you the agency. And I thought, well, that's great, thanks very much, that's really good, we could do that. Steph was pretty happy, and he said, but there's one condition. He said, I want you to put them in the ground. I said, oh gee, I said, I don't want to do that. I said, I'm too old to do that sort of stuff. And he said, well, that's the deal. And Steph said to me, and she said, in glossary terms, she said, well, there's no way you can do it, you're too old for that sort of stuff. So I leaned over the table, shook his hand and said, thanks very much, let's go. Nearly got divorced on the way home, and the rest is history really. The pool business was just taken off, and we pride ourselves on being good customer relations people, and I think that having known the Wheatbelt and been in business for many, many years, and realised that what people want in the country is service, we were able to provide that. So we've had some really good times.